Good evening and welcome to the Lord Chambers, where legal matters are discussed from a Christian perspective. The name, as you know, exactly, Anita Delight. And this is season 5. And we've done season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, season... Hey, and this season 5, I'm hoping and praying that you will learn something. As I say, usually say something, anything at all. I really hope you learn something. And obviously, we started with episode 1, episode 2. We did a question and answer period with Danadra Poku. I hope she did well. Yeah, she did. And I'm hoping that, a little here, there, who knows? She should be taking more responsibilities up, hopefully, God willing, very soon. And this season, we were contemplating what to discuss. Usually we have a particular topic to discuss, particular area to discuss, where I will pick the legal matters there from. And so we're asking ourselves, this season, what should we do? We had a lot of comments, a lot of suggestions from our viewers, and we settled on one. We've discussed a lot about businesses, employer, employee. We've discussed marital matters, those who are married, those who are not married. If you really intend or you want to listen to any of our previous shows, you go to Facebook, the Lord Chambers Ghana. All our episodes are there. You can watch it from there. And so we really want to, this season, we are looking at businesses. People who have businesses, people who have business ideas, people who work with businesses. What are some of the legal issues that can be found in businesses? And how can we help business people or people with business ideas to thrive? Now, the president is talking about what? 24-hour economy. If you're able to position yourself well as a business person, who knows? You might benefit from what the government is doing. So let this season be your season of contemplation. Ask yourself, legally, am I doing everything right? If you're doing everything right, how can I put myself in a position to get better investment? So today, we are discussing the business perspective. So we are looking at law in business, we are looking at the financial, we are looking at the banking sector, right? And everything from there will be from the legal perspective. But we are not going to jacket ourselves just legal, but we'll also discuss other matters in respect to that, so that will help you grow, right? That's the whole business of the Lord Chambers, to prepare you and to help you grow. So welcome to season 5. Again, the name is Anita Delight. We're supposed to have 2 guests today. An emergency came up. And some emergency, when God issues the emergency, no human can stop the emergency. So one of our guests unfortunately had that emergency. And so he's not here. The good thing is that topic, endorse what I say. So hopefully most of the topics will be doing season 1, like that's episode 1 and episode 2. So hopefully next week, where we are going to deal with the practicals better, he'll be here. But with part 1, we'll just be looking at the theoretical and the generals. Okay. So next week is part 2, where the practicals will be. So this season, we'll say part 1, part 2, part 1, part 2. The idea is to do the theoretical and do the practical. You understand? So all your questions are very much welcome. Okay. So if you have any question whatsoever, please, the line 0559 680066. And we need sponsorship. Okay. I've been saying this, please, we beg you. We need sponsorship. So call the same line if you have sponsorship for us and sponsor this show. So let me delve straight and introduce my only guest who is here. We thank God for her being here. So she's here, and she goes by the name Ekuya Bonsu Owu. Currently, she is the president of the Association of Women Accountants Ghana. Let me tell you a little bit about her. She's a chartered accountant with over 30 years of experience in the financial management sector. We are looking at the public sector. She currently serves as the president of the Association of Women Accountants, as I've said. She's the director of finance for the Adenta Municipal Assembly. She's a fellow of the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana. She's a fellow of the Professional Management Consultants Ghana. She's also a chartered tax accountant. She has an LLB from Wisconsin University. She has an Executive Master of Business Administration Finance option for University of Ghana Business School. She has a Bachelor of Science in Administration, that's accounting option from the same institution. She has a professional diploma in public financial management from ICAG. She's a member of the Institute of Internal Auditors Ghana. She has a publication to her credit. She serves on the Communication and Publication Committee of ICAG. She's a vice chairperson of the Ghana North District Society of ICAG. ICAG is Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana. She has been a board member of the Chartered Institute of Administrators and Manager Consultants since 2021. She's also a member of the Audit Committee of the Youth Employment Agency. She's a member of the Lions Club International. She's married with 3 children. In her free time, she cooks and sightsees. Ekia, how do you have free time? You're welcome.
Thank you.
How do you have free time?
Good evening to your viewers.
Yes, good evening. I'm responding for them. Because with all this portfolio, how do you have free time?
Yes. I always have free time if you want to have a free time.
How so?
My policy is that I can't kill myself.
No, in case you're queer.
So I always make sure that I get free time for myself, where I can also enjoy what I like doing best, and that is cooking.
Okay. So with your portfolio in tax, in accounting, in finance, and being a member of the Lions Club, how do you? And then you are married, you have 3 children. Like me, I don't have really half of this. I'm overwhelmed. Can you advise and show us how it's done? You will get into it, but just give us a general idea. How do you bracket it? Like if you are advising young ladies like us, how do you do it?
Thank you. Normally what I do is that I set a target, and then I focus on the targets and tell myself that this is where I want to be. And most of the times I look at people and I see them as my role model. So when I see something and I want it, I go for it all out. That's how I do it.
Wow. And you don't get sometimes overwhelmed?
It's not easy.
It's not.
It's not easy. But when you are determined, you will definitely get there. So the word is determination.
You need to be determined.
Yes. When you are determined.
PhD, here I come.
Amen.
Because sometimes it's so much, and you ask yourself, because, okay, so let me divert a little bit. Most of it are not, I read people like ladies who've made it, women who've made it in life, and they'll tell you that you can have it all. You can have the career, you can have the family, children and all that. You can have your personal, I'm like, it's theory. Practically, you are juggling all these things, but one will suffer. You don't think one suffered in your case?
No. And at this point, I want to say a big thank you to my husband.
How? Mr. Openswebu.
Yes.
How?
He has been very, very supportive.
Mr. Obu, we thank you.
Very supportive. He's always there for me. Always there for me. He even encourages me to learn. I quite remember when I was going to do my EMBA. I was in the house one night when he came. He said, I bought a form. Then I was like, form for what? He said, you are going to school. I said, school? I am tired. He said, no. The one who is chasing you is not tired. Why would you say you are tired? Wow. The sky is your limit.
Wow.
Yes, that's my story.
Oh. We thank our men. We thank our men. So let's go for this very short commercial break. When we come back, we're going to really dive into the topic for today. If you're a young lady, you're already sorted, Abby, because it's not easy. Let's go. We'll be right back.
Hope Channel is my favorite Christian channel. The best thing about this is that you can have it everywhere you go. All you need to do is to download the Hope Channel app on your Play Store or Apple Store and get all the programs you want to watch.
To the one who feels lost, to the achiever still feeling empty, to the perfect life that isn't perfect, to the one carrying heavy burdens. You weren't meant to walk alone. There's a love that changes everything. This is your invitation to experience Jesus. Not religion, not rules, just real love. Your invitation with What Impact 2025 Hope for Today.
Welcome back. Welcome. And you do know my sign language interpreter, right? That's Atanya Meche. He's always been with me, and he's so good at his work. And the idea is that as time goes on, we'll go far. We'll go far. And then, especially persons with disability, will also have their pound of flesh, their day, as the saying goes. So now let's move in proper. Okay. So I want to start from the very basic. We are doing the theoretical today. Okay. So the practicals we'll do it next week. Hopefully we'll have Nii with us. And so let me ask you, when we talk of contract, what is contract and what is contract law? We are looking at it in terms of business.
Thank you. When we talk about contracts, a contract is a legal binding agreement between two or more people with the intention of being enforceable by law. That is what a contract is. Example, day in, day out, we go into one or two ways of contracts. When I get out of my house, I'm going to the office, I want to pick a trotro. The mate is saying, let's say, adenta. I hop him. He has given the offer. He says adenta. I have accepted it by jumping into it. Mm-hmm. The moment I jumped into it,
acceptance.
I have accepted it.
Oh.
When I sit into the car, I am supposed to give the mates the fare, and that is the consideration that I am giving. And the driver is supposed to take me to Adenta, wherever the last stop is, or where I want to alight. So you find out that day in, day out, we engage in one way or the other, the contracts.
Let me be the driver's advocate here. There are some trotro mates and drivers. You tell them that I'm going to Adenta last stop. They say, yes, come up in Adenta last stop. They get to Adenta barrier and they'll tell you, traffic or quiet, so yeah, you 10. You've already paid your money. So get down, otherwise I'm taking you back to Medina.
Yes. You see, with a contract,
yes,
the main thing is whether you have the intention to create a legal contract.
So if the intention to be legally binding, then it means there's a contract. But the fact that you said Adenta, I said, okay, I hopped in, I paid you the money. there obviously is an intention
Yes.
for it to be legally
But
binding.
definitely, he's going to put you at a denter. But maybe
Last stop. So now let's draw this and bring it in the context of businesses. So we have a lot of businesses who go into contract with obviously their employees, with other businesses to maybe for services and all that. So when you look at it in that sense, it means that if the businesses employ you or employ other service providers like the telecoms, like people who clean the place, organizations who clean the place and all that, it means they all intend to be legally binding.
yes.
So why is it that some institutions, when you go, you are working with them or for them, they don't seem to make you think that it's legally binding? They can terminate at any point, do whatever they want to do, not thinking that you can legally take them on.
Yes, because most of the times we don't know our rights.
That's true.
So we take, and most of the times, Ghanaians, famanyame.
The Famanyame syndrome.
That is it. And even where you want to take it up, it's like, we too know.
You know your rights.
You know your rights. But they are forgetting that you know your rights.
You do know your rights.
Yes. You have to know your rights, but at least learning the laws that governs you.
It will be helpful. So now let's look at agencies. When we talk about agency, what's an agency? Who is an agent? And how is that different from a contract?
Okay. When we talk about an agent is another area of law which talks about a principal, the relationship between a principal and then an agent.
Okay.
Here, the principal who has authority releases some of his authority to the agent to contract on his behalf. Okay. So at the end of the day, it is binding between the principal and then the third party. But the agent is just something like a conduit pipe.
Like a go-between.
Go-between, yes.
Between so let's say, for example, let's look at the principal being a business entity. So the businessman says that, okay, I want employees, and then they go to these agencies, get me an employee, get me employees, I want to stand them. So the agency becomes the agent in the
yes, and then they employ for the principal.
So if the agent does something contrary to the agreement, the third party who is the employee can sue
the principal,
the company.
Yes.
Okay. So what is the difference between that and the contract?
I must say that it is almost the same, but however, with a contract, let's put it that it is done by the two parties themselves. Yeah. But with the agency, it's like I am outsourcing the middleman to do some of my work for me.
Okay, okay. So then let's look at the banking sector too. I want us to look at all these theories so that we will merge it well with businesses. And God willing, next week we'll do the practicals. So please follow us. If you try and follow us, it's a little bit theoretical, but try and follow it. You get where we are going with this. Okay, so looking at the banking sector, which institution regulates the banking sector, and what are some of the laws that govern these financial institutions? Okay,
so with the banking sector, it is regulated by the Bank of Ghana Act 2002 and its amendments. Okay. That is the main regulator of the banks. When you talk about the laws that govern the banking sector, or let's say the financial sector, let's look at Article 11. Article 11 talks about the various laws that governs the work that we do. Mm-hmm. And the first one is the Constitution.
Of course.
That is the main supreme law of the country. Then we talk about enactment by Parliament. Mm-hmm. Then subsidiary legislations.
The EIs and the LIs.
Yes.
That's the executive instrument, yes. And then legislative instruments.
Then the common law
Yeah.
and then the existing laws. If you look at it, in the same constitution, chapter 13 is purposely devoted to finance. That is where you find all the laws that governs finance. When you look at the banking sector, we have the banking sector, the pensions, the insurance, and then the security and
Exchange.
yes. So these are the various sections of under the finance. Yes.
Sector of the
So as we said, the banking one, which is regulated by the Bank of Ghana Act 2002 and its amendments. Then under it, we can say the PFM Act is also there. The companies
PFM, please.
Public Financial Management Act 2016 at 921. Then we can also talk about the Companies Act 2019 at 992. They all form parts of the various laws that governs the banking sector. We have the insurance. So with insurance, we have the laws, the insurance laws. We have the pensions, and then the securities and capital.
Okay. So now we've looked at contracts, we've looked at agencies, and we looked at the financial sector a little bit. I zoomed in on the banking. So now, and the banking, and not just banking, let's look at mortgages. Okay. So what are mortgages and the type of mortgages we have, and anything you want to talk in respect to mortgages?
Okay. When you talk about a mortgage, the mortgage is regulated by the Mortgage Act 1972, the NRCD 96. Specifically, Section 1.1 tells us what a mortgage is. A mortgage is a contract that charges an immovable property as a security over the debt that you have taken. So let me
in layman's language.
Okay. It's like I have a land.
Okay.
I need money. I come to you, Anita. I need this amount of money. I am prepared to use my land, which is situated at Adenta, as a security, such that if I'm not able to pay for the loan that you have given me, you have the liberty to take the land. That is all about mortgage. And you know, mortgage, from the Latin aspects, the mort means that dead, and the gage means pledge. So it's a dead pledge. Why do we say that it's a dead pledge? It's a dead pledge because, one, once you are able to come back and pay the debts, your land reverts back to you. So the contract is dead. Another aspect to it is that if you are not able to come and pay, the immovable property moves to the mortgagee. So in that sense, it is dead. That is why it is called a dead pledge.
Because I want to look at this. So let's situate that again in the business sector. So someone has a business, and if you have a business, all things being equal, you want to go for a loan. If you want to go for a loan, you can mortgage any of your properties. That
immovable property.
And we have to be quite, it depends on the kind of company you have. So if it's a limited liability company, it means the property has to belong to the company.
Yes.
You're not the person of the shareholders. So you have to look at, remember we spoke about the limited, unlimited and all that. It's very important because when you're going for mortgage or you're going for a loan in respect to your business, it depends on the type of business you have and then the one you can mortgage. So then let's move from the mortgage. You've given us a little bit of to the Borrower and the Lenders Act. Who is the borrower, who is the lender, and how has that got to do with business?
Okay, thank you. The borrower is the one who wants to come and borrow. And then the lender, I'm just
yes,
I'm just putting it in just
simple, yeah.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
And then the lender is the one who is prepared to also give. And these are governed by credit agreements.
Okay. So because the agreement, it now ties up back to contracts, right?
You go back to
Okay.
contracts.
Right.
So basically, that is what it means. That if I am supposed to borrow it to you, or you are coming to borrow it and I'm lending it to you, we have to come into an agreement. Specify the agreement, the terms of payments, the interest, the length of time and all those things. If you are able to say that you can meet it, then it becomes a contract between you, the lender, and the borrower. And then together, you embark on that journey. So
it means that, so the difference between the mortgage and this one is that the mortgage in respect to an immovable property.
Yes.
But this one is in respect to me giving you money, but there's no real collateral.
Yes.
It's about the interest. So if, let's say, for example, the business borrows money from another agency, let's say a bank, for example, and the business is not able to pay, there's no collateral. So then what happens? The business will be sued?
You see, what I know is that before you embark on it, there are terms of references that you need. So with the bank, for instance, depending on the amount of loan that you are taking, there are terms and conditions to it. Whether you have to bring an immovable property or whether you have to bring a collateral or a guarantor or whatever. So it all depends on the terms of agreements. So if you look at it, it all comes back to the first question that you asked. It's all about contracts.
And that's why I want us, our listeners, to follow us critically. Otherwise, next week you might not understand what we're doing. So we've looked at contracts. Okay.
The contract we didn't finish.
You wanted to. Oh, Leah, please go ahead with the contract for me.
Because I was talking about when a contract can be enforceable.
Okay. All right.
As I was telling you, that how do you make a contract enforceable by law?
Okay.
So after I've explained the offer and acceptance, you have given consideration. The other thing is, do the parties have capacity?
Very important.
That is very important, because if you enter into an agreement with, let's say, a 12-year boy, do you expect to
be enforceable?
That is the question. So we have to look at the capacity. Then it's like the intention to create a legal relation. I am a mother. My daughter says she will not eat. I want her to eat.
Yes.
So I say, Ikuya, you eat. If you eat, I'll take you to the mall, buy you the most expensive thing that you want. Is it enforceable?
It should be.
There are exceptions.
Because you think because the domestic setting,
That is
the
it.
intention was not to create legal
That
relations.
is it.
I beg, that's why we move from there. I'm telling lawyers now, we are moving from there. Now, if you promise your child, please, morally and ethically, you have to be bound by it. But legally, yes.
Yes. And then the legality of the contract, whatever the subject matter. You also have to look at it.
Yeah. So give us some example there. It's very, very important our listeners understand that part.
The legality
Yes.
of
So, for example, cocaine.
Anita, you have said it.
That cocaine part, how I like that cocaine part.
Anita, you have said it, so you can.
No, go ahead.
Anita, you
no,
have said
you are the
it.
guest. I'm supposed to be asking questions, not asking questions. So please go ahead.
Yes.
Please go ahead.
Like you enter into a contract and then you say that, okay, you are supposed to ship cocaine to, let's say, a country for me. That is your contract. And we know that it is illegal to deal in cocaine. So with this, are you saying that it's enforceable by law?
By law.
So I think that for it to be enforceable, for it to be enforceable, we need to look at all these things to make it, to determine whether it must be enforceable or not.
Okay. And what I was trying to say is that if our listeners, if you don't follow us well, we might lose you next week. So let's try to gather our thoughts here. So we've looked at contract, we've looked at mortgages, we've looked at agencies and who agents are. And we've looked at borrower and lenders. We looked at the banking sector and some of the laws that govern this. All these areas, we'll be situating it in the business setting, in the business context, and ask ourselves what are the legalities around these things, and how can we help the businesses in respect to these legalities. So follow us theoretically. Okay. So now let's move to some of our questions online. Our viewers, very important. Nana Kofini Mako is saying, the brotherhood is proud of your husband.
Thank you.
That's so romantic. He said, husbands, please, let's gather here. Rarely do we hear one praising the husband so much. So, and I think I agree with Nana Kofini Mako. I agree with him. And insightful discussions. Thank you so much, Nana Kofini Mako. Belinda is also saying, Anita, say hi to her for me. She's an inspiration. Yeah, she's inspires us all. Trust me. Because sometimes you get so tired, you don't want to do certain things. Then you see women like her and go like, I can do this.
Yes.
We can do it. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And Stella is saying, she has a question. So what she's saying is, so let's say, let me read. I am in a business. I am in a business and I've gone for a loan. So she's in a business, she's gone for a loan, and there was no collateral, there was no agreement. And the interest keeps changing. What should she do?
Hey, how can you go for a loan without any agreement?
So there's no agreement?
Yes.
So I mean there's no contract
There's
binding
no contract binding you.
So why should you be
So
paying?
at every time he can decide to change.
But looking at the flip side, why should you pay?
Yes, so you can look at it from the positive side and the negative side. So if he is trying to always change the interest, you can also decide to also maintain the first interest because...
Or not pay.
That is it. Because there's no agreement.
So please come back and let's try to understand it better. So you've gone for a loan, you have a business, you've gone for a loan. There's no agreement. And then every time the interest changes. So they come to you for their money and then you pay them and they tell you the interest has changed. So you increase it. Let me ask a question. I like being a devil's advocate. Let me ask you this question. If you don't pay, what will happen? There's no contract. There's nothing binding. What will happen? So let's hear from you. And if you hear from me from that point, then the question will be, they increasing the interest? What is their basis to increase it? They will advise you from that angle. So let's look at this from that angle too as well. Okay. Then, hello, madam. Thank you. She says thank you. I don't know what the thank you is for, but I think I understand because I'm saying thank you. So now let's move on to another area. You are a tax person. You are a chartered accountant. You've worked with the public sector, the private sector, and the public sector mainly. Now you are with the Adenta Municipal Assembly. What do you do there vis-a-vis businesses?
Okay, thank you. At Adenta Municipal Assembly, our main focus is to collect revenue and ensure that the revenue that we collect, it is being put into good use to develop the constituency.
Okay.
So we have taxes like business operating permits. With the business operating permit, what it means is that anybody that wants to establish a business, after you have gone to the Register General, you are supposed to come and register with us. Luckily for us, we have some collaboration with Register General, where when you register your business, they take a substantial amount of money, which we are supposed to come to your shop, value the shop, assess it, and say that this business is categorized into, let's say, A, B, C. We have a fee fixing, which is given to us by the local governments. So based on the fee fixing, we look at it and then we classify your business, whether it's grade A, grade B, grade C, or what. Apart from the business operating permits, what we also do is property rates. If you have a property, you are supposed to pay a token. I say it's a token because it's very small.
That one, let me move it. A friend of mine, is it Regimanuel Estate or something? Yes. Is it they moved it from 500 and something to over 50,000?
You know, with the property rates, what normally happens is that it's the land valuation that values the property, the land and the property. So they give us the rateable values.
What does that mean? I don't understand.
Let's say if you have a building.
Yes.
The land valuation comes in.
You are going to tax me based on the value of my property.
Yes. But even with that, they don't use the market value like you are going to sell your property, where you use the market value of the property.
Tobo. I have a land at Regimanuel Estate.
Yes.
I have 20-bedroom house.
Yes.
Another person has a house in Medina, 2-bedroom.
Yes.
Someone has a Denta, 4-bedroom. You are telling me that because this is in Regimanuel and looking at the building and everything, it's going to be more, although maybe they are all 2 plots?
No, you see, we have categorizations.
How do you categorize?
We have residential areas.
Okay.
First-class residential areas, second-class residential areas.
Oh.
And then third class.
Who determines the classes?
It is determined by the fiscal planners, those who plan the city.
Wow.
Yes. That is why when you go to some areas, even the land alone is so expensive.
It is expensive. Well, what has that got to do with the little taxes you're supposed to take?
That's how it has been categorized.
Okay.
So when land valuation brings out the rateable values, then the assembly, through its general assembly meeting, determines the rate imposed. So the rateable value is multiplied with the rate imposed, and that will give you the property rate that you are supposed to pay.
I think that's so unfair, but let's move into the business sector. Because I think that there should be a whole unfortunately, my program, we don't discuss it, but I really hope there will be there's another program that's after my program, there's another program, and he deals proper into these ones. Oh, now, okay. I really will link him up to you because I don't think this is fair. This is right, but it's not, it's not part of my program. So let me move on.
You to develop the constituency
so
for
take
you.
a token. Maybe you're going to look at the token. But looking at the value of my building, looking at my land to determine how much you take. As I said, you helped me build.
No, I think this one you best be explained to by land valuation.
So then yourself and a land valuer will come to his program and come and help us. Because this is what they don't understand. But let me move back to the business sector. So you give business people the permits within the assembly. Do you also do categorization like that?
Yes.
That there's a first class area in terms of businesses?
Yes. With the businesses, it depends on what you are selling.
Okay.
Let's take it that you are a hairdresser.
Okay.
You find that a hairdresser has maybe 3 hair dryers, 10 apprentices. It's in a big shop. So based on that, the category is determined. Because if you're a hairdresser and you have just 1 dryer, you don't even have an apprentice, I don't think it is fair for you to be paying the same amount with somebody that I described earlier, which means that there are categories. Wow. Yes. So when you come, we take you through the categories. Then we give you where you fall for you to also understand. Then based on that, we generate the bill for you, and it is for the year, the whole year. It's not something like monthly.
So with these monies and taken from these businesses, what does the business get from the assemblies? How are the business supported in respect to assemblies?
Yes, the business are supported in several ways. We develop the constitution. How do we develop it? I need to why you
Oh, Ekia. You go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We make sure that the roads are patched. Because the amount of money that we receive, we cannot say that we can do the roads. Mm-hmm. But luckily for us, now even with the drip system where we have the machines, so we make sure that the roads are motorable.
Okay.
So we come there, make sure that you can have access. We also do the gutters to make sure that the drains flow. But every day I always say that we also have the city gas that help our children to cross the road. And that alone, as a mother, I'm in a hurry to go to the markets. Because if I don't go to the market very early, my suppliers will leave. I leave my child in the house. Tell the child, Kofi,
but let me ask our viewers, how many of you have seen these city guards, frankly speaking?
They direct traffic, they help the police in directing traffic and all those things. So we create employment to help the government.
We are to be fun. The questions I have, if I go there, we'll move away from the legal issues and then we'll be dealing with social issues. Yes. Because really,
as he said, maybe we have to have.
Yeah, I think I'll refer you to after this program. There's another program. He is really into the social matters and businesses, and because
Because you need to get understanding.
We do.
Yes.
Okay, so
because
now,
most people don't even know that you are supposed, when you open a business, you are supposed to pay business operating permits. You have to register with assembly. You are supposed to pay property rates.
Actually, that's
Yes.
one of the areas.
Yes.
So let's say, for example, I'm a business person. I've gone to register with the Registrar General. Okay, and so if I register with the Registrar General, most people in their minds think, boom, then let me start my business. But they do not understand that the assembly within which you operate to, you have to go to the assembly.
Yeah, that's why it's called
that
business operating permit. The assembly will have to give you the permit before you can operate.
Okay, and irrespective of the kind of business.
That is why you need the permit, such that if it is, as we were talking about illegality, then it means that we can't give you that permit.
Okay, but it can be any business in terms of legal business. So
yes.
If I'm a fishmonger, if I'm a trader, if I'm a hairdresser.
And then sometimes to where you locate the business.
Okay.
In some residential areas like that, they don't want this noise. So you go and open, let's say, a bar. Are we supposed to give you a permit?
But you do give permits, because I had a case like that.
They gave.
They did. The place was a residential. Actually, the place is a residential area, and it's a bar. And
sometimes they do rezoning. So maybe as at the time that's. Yes.
Okay, so let me. If I mention this company, it will not be fair. They're into aluminium curtain. You know, they make a lot of noise, and it's in a residential area. And my clients behind my clients, that's where they are. And when we went to, we went to.
But Anita, did you check whether they have rezoned the place?
They've not rezoned.
Because sometimes they will say it's a residential area, but when they see that there are cluster of businesses,
that's the only business in the area.
Okay, I don't have the facts, so I don't want to.
You don't want to. So what I'm trying to say is that what you are talking about, that because if it is an area which is supposed to be a residential area, so okay, let me come even down. Let's come down. These residential areas you all live in, you'll be there and someone in front of their house will open a shop or hairdressing salon or small buying and selling. That's business. How do you look at those ones in its legal sense?
You see, government have reservations.
Okay.
So in front of your house, let's say you are on the roadside.
All right.
In front of your house, there's a big reservation which is for government.
Okay.
Somebody carries a kiosk, come to put it there. He needs to consult you for you to say, even though it's a reservation for government, it is your frontage.
Okay.
So you also need to agree.
Okay.
After you have agreed, if you also come, we will come
That's
and give you a permit.
assembly.
Yes, we'll come and give you a permit if we think that where you have placed it is good. If it's not good, we ask you to take it away.
Although it's
there.
a residential area.
Yes. That is why I said that one is determined by the town planners. I am not a town planner. So I don't know what goes into they locating the
because
places.
I really want our viewers to understand the legalities of these things, because sometimes you are in your house and there are businesses all around you and there's a residential area. They are making so much noise. They contact me, I'm like, go to EPA, Environmental Protection Agency.
We work hand in hand with them.
Okay, so they are an authority. They will determine these things. They'll come and do their survey, come and get more than 4 times, 5 times. They'll not do anything about it.
They do it. You know,
what?
they have a machine that they look the sound. So when they come and then they look at it and they find out that
and the report is wonderful. The implementation.
Maybe you say they are disturbing you, but whatever observation or whatever.
But the observation also says that the noise making is above the normal decibel, and so they write a report, and you read the report and you're happy as you're happy for your client. Now implementation, how to stop that business from operating there becomes an issue. So now let's go to court. You can't
stop it. You only tell the person to minimize the noise.
They will minimize it for 1 week, 2 weeks. Then we are back
to
the original. Okay, so now let me come to this other area. Let me come to. I know I have a lot of people. I'll come to your questions shortly. So let me ask particular area also. So you go to the market, okay, and there are these beautiful, hard-working women working along the roadside, sometimes on the pavement. And you've given them permit, pavement. How is that legal?
Anita, I don't want to go there.
Okay, you have to go there.
Anita, I don't want to go there.
You'll go there.
Sometimes it's political.
Okay, right. Let me go back to my questions. Okay, so Jifa is saying, Anita, insightful questions, and thank you for these questions. Can you ask her how she made it and how to contact her? You want a mentor? On my show, come and sponsor the show. They'll give you mentors. I say, so she's gone back to you giving advice. So I think at the end of the show, maybe you look in the camera and really address the young ladies who have so much ambition, especially juggling your professional life that's your career life, with family, with you want to go back to school, PhD and all that, and church activities, and you get overwhelmed.
I'm a Sunday school teacher.
Sunday school teacher. And I said, I'm a teacher. So when we're about concluding, I think I want you, because most of the young ladies, that's all they are addressing. They really want you to address that. And I think I also link you up with one of our shows, the Woman to Woman show. It's a women's program on this show that really helps women. And my show, it doesn't do that. So I will link you because it's very, very helpful. So now let me go back to my questions. So the ones you don't answer me, I'll force you to answer because it's not fair. So if I'm a business person, okay, and I go to the registrar general, that's the office of the registrar general, I do what I'm supposed to do. I come to the assembly, I do what I'm supposed to do. Assembly give me the permit to operate, and the permit expires every year.
Yes.
Am I supposed to renew it every year?
Yes.
I renew it every year?
You renew it every year, and so maybe, you see, sometimes business is not good. You want to maybe stop for some time. Okay. You write officially to us that within this time period, you will not be working, stating your reasons. Okay. You understand? Okay. So if you bring it, then that one will not come for any
so if
money.
I forget and I don't...
But when you write it, will come to inspect whether it is true.
Okay.
And it is not going to be just one day, randomly.
You come around.
Yes. So when we come and we see that the shop that you said you are closing is open, that one you have lied to us. So we even add penalty to it.
You add penalty to it.
Yes.
Okay. So now let me move a little bit.
I think apart from the property rates, another source of revenue that we also generate is the permitting.
The permitting, yes.
Yes. So when you buy a land,
obviously you get a lot of money from permitting.
Yes. When you buy
too
a
much
land,
money from permitting.
Why do you say that?
Because I'm shocked. Because the first time someone was talking about permitting, and then the person was like, so if it's bare land, the money is different. If it's a land with a building on it,
you need a permit before you even build. No, so when we come,
we also that. In some person more it's a 1 story. They want to do 3 stories, and now you're not just doing. You're doing all that one. You add it to it. And
yes.
Yeah, this is the first episode. Actually, this is the first episode for this season. And okay, all right. So, if I have to inform you that my business will not be in operation for a while, and so you'll not tax, I'll not be made to pay the permits each year. Let's look at those whose business is burned down. You know, these fires and all that. So the whole place is burnt down. You know the place is burnt down. Do I really need to again write to you and tell you that the place is burnt down so I'm not in business? Or it automatically takes effect that because the place is burnt down, I'm not in business?
The place is burnt down.
Yeah.
We have seen that the place is burnt down.
Okay.
You have moved to another place.
Oh.
So business continues.
Because I had a big shop. Now I have just 3-4 things. I'm standing in front of someone's shop.
Yes, so you are not going to pay what you were paying. You are going to pay a
Even
lesser.
in people's distress.
Anita, you said you have been able to regather yourself. You are selling in front of somebody. At least you have to give thanks to God.
Piece of okay. So the next week our time is almost up. So next week I want us to look at. I think they will be here too. So we'll look at the investment angle, and then we'll look at general angle, and then we'll put all these things together and let the business person or the person who has the business mind to know what to look out for. So let me say, if you have final words. So in terms of businesses, what we've discussed, if you have final words, and then personally, if you have any final words for our young ladies who are really looking up to you, like myself.
So in terms of the business aspects, what I want to say is that there are laws governing the work that we do. Sometimes I always say that it is better you get a legal advice than to encounter the show in the courtroom. Let's take advantage of the safety nets that we have in terms of the legal, the laws. Let's get people, the lawyers, for them to explain it to us. Don't wait till you get court issues before you seek for a lawyer. Even when you start the business, the way you draft your contracts, whether you're going to put in this ADR, like how you're going to resolutions, how you're going to manage it, negotiation, conflict resolutions, all those things. If you get a lawyer, he will help you right from the start, which will not lead you into any legal matters. So let's get it. Sometimes we look at the costs, but it's better you face the costs, which is smaller at the beginning, than ending up in the courtroom. So all I'll say is that to our business women and men, the lawyers are there. Get them involved for them to draft a good contract for you, and then you'll be fine.
Then the personal?
For my personal advice,
yes, to that young lady, who wants to do everything some.
Yes, the sky is your limit. Gone were the days that we say that women, our position is in the kitchen. No, our position is no more in the kitchen. We can multitask. We balance. As Association of Women Accountants, our slogan is then we say balance. We balance every aspect of our life. Our marriage life, our children, education, everywhere. All you need is to focus, persevere, be determined. Myself, ever since I started school, I decided that every year I have to be in school.
Okay.
Yes, that was my target, and it is still my target. So I complete this, and then I move to another. I have done it for all these years, so anytime that I'm not in school or I'm not learning, I feel that something has left me. When you start like that, you find out that every time you need to move up. The odds are there. They will face you. They will hit you. I quite remember when I was even doing my LLB, I was like, what do I even need this one for? I'm tired. But I told myself, I will not give up. And the 3 years.
The 3 years will by all means come.
It will come.
So you might as well use it for something.
So use it wisely. The years are coming and they are going very, very fast. Don't let it go waste. Make use of it. Just be determined. Get a focus and work towards that focus, and you'll be there. Amen.
And we thank Mr. Bonsu,
yes,
for all that he's done.
He's doctor.
His doctor.
Yes, please.
Oh. So in a nutshell, those of us who have married well, we thank God.
Amen.
And so if you're a young lady and you're yet to marry well,
pray
and marry well.
Pray and tell God to give you a good right husband.
We thank God. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
so
Anita.
much. So let me, I mean, summarizing the kakra. I did discuss with brain. No, discuss part 1 and part 2. Next week, a part 2, and then the theories na next week a practicals. Na the practicals na can and they no. Unfortunately, nyame kasa ni panti nyawohwe. Second guest no beba no nyame akasa. Unfortunately, by nyame adoma next week. Bibia betoso obetimi aba. Oba be practical partner. The theories here say this season, you see, discuss businesses. They measure the legal side and the practical side. Because here, legal side, they very hangy. Into the practical side, also become they are combined. Into they share businesses in respect to the banking, the financial sector. Na setting up businesses. Na equiani ekosi like I say, we can register or registrar general honoma. Baby, maintain also out no. Obey business na kasano. If you say Adenta municipal na Madina in Kwantana municipal na Kumasi bepia wono sa area hosono sa assembly ne ho na municipal na wono e so no make because remember permit no permit no me share business officer oye never check permit ho mo be ma na my friend say o sharp business in koye nti bia wonu say 1 year we dey mean to be in your business 2 years mean to be in your business oba tro mo no ka tro mo say 1 year 2 years they mean to be in your business into mo nje o sa permit no but what say be me dey omo 1 year 2 years omo in your business so but still omo tua there be sure mo no ka tro mo say for 1 year and 2 years no business in koye nyema nkoye into me jai sa business we kakra into jai a no tro mo a omo nje o sa permit no na o sa start here na wasa akoye na yesa so ka say your contract businesses for honoma within business now also contracting for be ejuma also contracting your friend is saying employees my friend is another apart from that business so your the second one your friend agent business be honoma or no any ejuma directly or full be so not do ejuma so the ejuma no way no catch so ko fan ko be ejuma ne mame nti nipa na o metal na be agent but say agent no so or ye bibia enko ye bia against war utimi efa na chi ebesu company no patrol say theory next week e be any practical so ni esaka say mortgage ye say o asase and a landed property be now they akwajiska utimi to your land back and now o dime back when to be into ya ebeje what I say into yes a theory when ya in a look at IT, we look at marketing, we look at communication, we look at auditing, procurement, all these aspects of businesses. We'll look at it and hopefully, God willing, you learn something for the students. So again, the name is Anita Lie Dankwa. Until next week, it's adieu from us.